I think this is the fight we need to see. This is the right kind of step up for Oleksandr Usyk before he tries anything crazy at heavyweight. Usyk against Chisora, March 28th, O2 in London. That's what I'm hearing at the moment. For Chisora, it will be his last big shot at the big time in what would be one of the most high-profile fights of his career if this comes off. For Usyk, this is still, despite the fact it's got a bit of a challenge written on it, this really has got to be a showcase for him. If we're to believe and if he's to justify all this hype that's behind him, comparisons with Evander Holyfield, and indeed some people asking whether he was as good a cruiserweight as the real deal, he has to put a beating on Chisora. Point blank, he can't just win, he has to stop him. Whether it's during a round or he makes him retire on his stool, he has to look really good here against a guy who has been beaten many times before when he's tried to step up. There is a reason for this as well. There is a plan, it seems, for 2020 for Joshua and Usyk to face each other later on in this year. Joshua is probably going to fight Kubrat Pulev. Sounds like Usyk's going to fight Chisora, and if they get past those guys, which they should do, they then may meet up late summer, fall 2020. And so why Usyk has to look good here is because he has to be able to drum up excitement. Yes, a lot of Brits will know that he beat Tony Bellew, but he didn't look great in his heavyweight debut against Chaz Witherspoon. It was a bit of a flat performance, which if he gave himself more time to compete at heavyweight first, like Evander Holyfield did before going for a title, it may not matter. But when you've only got that fight, Chisora, and then maybe Joshua, you've got to drum up excitement. A lot of people don't know who Usyk is. And even the casual fan has got to be able to view him as a legitimate threat. If he just easily outpoints Chisora but fails to show any kind of power, I think the Joshua fight would lose something as a prospect. Yeah, it would still sell loads and people would watch it. But he has got to show that he is able to do some damage. That is the quintessential thing with the flagship division. Now, Chisora stylistically is going to be able to get some good out of Usyk. He's quite good at tracking you. He's a big lump. He can take a punch. He's going to force Usyk to fight at a pace and come up with some good counters. And he will test his ability to dig his toes into the canvas and try and punch harder than he usually does. Again, he is really going to have to try and bruise up Chisora, not just win pretty much every round, but batter the guy. So if the plan is to fight Joshua later in this year, which would be a very interesting fight, I have got to see him shine a little bit here first. When Holyfield stepped up to heavyweight, we knew he wasn't a particularly big puncher, and of course there was the shadow of Mike Tyson even after he got beat by Buster Douglas. But Holyfield could really crack with the left hook, with the right hand. He was able to get your attention in a way that I haven't seen from Usyk. And just looking a bit further ahead, when you look at Usyk's style, he tends to prefer to fight at a long range. He doesn't seem to have those necessary ambush tactics that Holyfield employed when he could get close and rough you up, which is probably necessary against the bigger boys, because there are some real giants in the heavyweight division at the moment. So if this one goes ahead, it will be a really interesting fight. I think it's just the right kind of opponent that the Ukrainian needs right now to see where he's at. But make no mistake about it, he has got to look really good here in beating Del Boy.